Hi guys, welcome back to a new video. Today we are doing a Ariana Grande inspired look on this one right here. So if you want to see that, keep on watching. So I'm gonna start with my brows and I'm just brushing them through with a spoolie, and then I'm using this Benefit Microfilling pen to fill my brows in. This pen is really great to create little hair strokes, and that's what I want to achieve with this look. I'm aiming more so for a straight brow, just like the one she has in the picture. My brows are a little bit more arched, but I want to recreate the same kind of vibe that she has. And I'm just carefully filling them in because this is an ink pen, so if I press too hard it's gonna be too harsh on my skin, so you're gonna have to go carefully with this pen. And I'm just brushing them again with a spoolie to make it look as natural as I can. Wherever I need more, I will add more. So here you can see the before and after. One is definitely more sculpted than the other one, and that's what we want. I'm quickly gonna fill in the other brow and then we can move on to the next step. Now that my brows are filled, I am just gonna brush them through with some Gimme Brow, which is a tinted brow gel, just to make them a bit more spiky and give them a little bit more of color. And this is the part where I am actually really gonna be able to mimic that straight brow. Again, I don't have a straight brow, so what I'm doing is just taking some concealer and concealing the hairs that I still have there to make them disappear. And that is gonna give me the illusion of a more straight brow than the one that I actually have, which is pretty cool. Concealer is a great trick for this. If you want to maneuver your face shape and try a different brow style even, this is really gonna help you. I'm just blending the edges of that concealer under my brow with a buffer brush because I don't want to have any harsh lines under my brows. And this one is a really inexpensive one. This one is from Morphe. I will try to leave every single product and brushes even in the description box. So that same concealer I'm gonna use to prep my eyes for eyeshadow. I'm just putting that on my eyelids, and this is gonna help me cover any darkness that I might have or any veins that might show up, because I want it to be a really clean canvas to apply my eyeshadow. With the same buffer brush, I am gonna blend that concealer until it's looking really smooth. There's no creasing, no lines, just perfect to go in with eyeshadow right after this. So the first shadow I am gonna use is this brown toned eyeshadow from my Jaclyn palette. I'm gonna put this through my crease, and I'm actually going quite high up my crease because we're gonna be cutting the crease in a little bit, and I want that brown shadow to actually show up. And she has a quite contoured nose and inner corner, so I am gonna do the same, really concentrating that shadow really close to my nose, and at the end of the eye I'm winging out the shadow, kinda already creating a base for the cut crease that we are gonna do in a minute after this. For my cut crease, I am gonna use my ABH eye primer with a very tiny and skinny brush, just because this brush is really gonna give me so much more precision than using a flat brush. And what I want is a really high cut crease, but also with a winged out shape, like I'm creating right here. The ABH eye primer is perfect for this because the eyeshadow that I'm gonna be using next is a white shadow, and I want it to be as white as I can get it, and because this primer is so light, that's gonna be just perfect. To set that eye base, I am using this white shadow from the ABH Riviera palette. This is the best white shadow ever to be made. I love this. I wish they made this in a single shadow because I've used this shadow so much. And white shadow comes in handy for everything, for doing white looks, for creating pastels from other colors that you might have in your collection without having to go and buy actual pastel palettes. So yeah, that's my little rant about how perfect this white shadow is. But I am just setting that crease, and I'm not taking that all over my lid, just the part where I cut the crease, because it's more of a graphic liner in the crease rather than an all over shadow. And I'm just cleaning whatever I have left, really creating that crisp line under that white shadow before I go in with my next shimmer shades. I'm going back into my Jaclyn Hill palette and I'm using this really pretty pink shimmer. And this is gonna go in my inner corners and also on my outer corners. And I'm leaving the middle of the lid really bare with no shadow, because we're gonna put another color there that's gonna make the eyelid really pop. And I'm using a really tiny brush for this as well, just because it gives you more control of really going under the crease without getting the shimmer on your matte white liner that we just spent so much time creating. You don't want to mess that up. For the center of my eyelid, I'm using this pearly shade from the Be Perfect and Makeup with Gel palette. This is the perfect shade for this, because in the picture you kind of see the middle of the eyelid kind of have a more sheen to it, and that's what I wanted to achieve. So I'm applying that with my finger to get most impact of the shadow. We're gonna move to eyeliner right now, and I am not that good with liner, so I'm actually using some tape to help me create a really sharp line. You can always do a little bit of tape on the corner of your eye to help you with this part of your makeup. I'm just gonna perfect that winged liner, not doing too much with it. It's just a straight winged liner. Just like in the picture. So we finally made it to the face makeup. Yay, we're closer to the finished look. I'm gonna prime my face with this e.l.f. body primer because I wanna have flawless skin, just like Ariana Grande, because she's going to the VMAs, so she has to look flawless. That's what we're doing with my face. So I'm applying this primer right where my pores are, on my T-zone, and then I'm gonna use two of my favorite foundations, because that's what you do when you want to look flawless, use your favorite foundations. And I'm applying that with a little brush. And after that, I'm actually gonna blend that with a bigger buffer brush. This is the Real Techniques, I think, buffer brush. I think it's called that. I'm not really sure. Or complexion brush, something like that. But I'm just gonna blend my foundation until it's looking really nice and even and smooth. Again, for concealer, I'm using my favorite one. This is the TooFaced Sculpting Concealer. And I'm just applying that on little points where I want just a little bit more of coverage and I want to conceal any darkness that I might have. And I'm using the little buffing brush that we used in the beginning to blend out this concealer. Sometimes I like to blend out my concealer with a brush. It gives me a bit more precision and I can really build up the coverage where I want it. Right now, I really wanted to have the coverage just in the inner corners of my eye where I have darkness. For powder, I'm using my Nabla powder. This is a very, very mild powder, so it's gonna set everything and give me a really smooth complexion, but it's not gonna look cakey or dry on my skin. For bronzer, I'm using this bronzer from Nars. It's the Laguna bronzer, and I'm just tapping that on my cheeks. I like to tap instead of sweeping with my brush, just because it gives a more flawless look of the bronzer on the skin. And I'm also bringing that a little bit on my nose. So now for the fun part, we're gonna add some little gems on the face. And I'm using this tool that I got on Amazon. It was really cheap, so I'll try to link that as well. And I'm applying some lash glue first, and then I'm gonna start applying the little gems where I applied that glue. And try to work in sections just so your lash glue doesn't dry and then you have to reapply the lash glue, and it's just a bit of a process. And I'm just trying to apply them in the same shape that she has them in the picture. But it was a bit hard because, I don't know, I wasn't paying attention, and then the shape ended up being quite different actually. But it still looks really cute. I'm actually also gonna add some black liner because she has that in the picture as well. And after that, I'm just gonna go in with a very neutral blush and adding that on the apples of my cheeks. And lastly, I am gonna add this beautiful matte liquid lip from Huda Beauty. I thought this was gonna be the perfect color for this look, but it ended being a little bit more pink than I wanted, but that's okay. You gotta work with what you have. And that is the completed look on this Ariana Grande inspired makeup. I hope you guys really liked this video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of these fun videos, and I will see you all next time. Bye!